Power After Hours, your favorite power podcast. Jeff on this side, Chrissy on the other side, and we are here to recap Power Book 2 Ghosts, Season 3, Episode 8, Sacrifice. As always, you know the vibes. Tap in with us wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. Like this video if you love what you're hearing. Shout out to the podcast gang, the replay gang, and the chat gang going crazy in the comments. Good to see everybody live and direct with us. Chrissy, how are you feeling?
Ooh, child, I feel like the name of the episode should be called Sacrifice. Like, what kind of nonsense? This was madness. But yeah, I'm feeling good despite the fact that I feel like we had a finale this past weekend. It felt very finale-ish. But feeling good nonetheless. Yeah, what about you?
Oh man, like I'm feeling great. This episode, this was like one of those classic restore the feeling type episodes that we have in Power, where, you know, once upon a time watching this show, you didn't know what the hell was going to happen. All right. Your faves weren't safe, twists and turns and all of that. And I think Ghost has found its footing, but the pace that they're moving at this season is breathtaking. And it's a breakneck pace. And I enjoy it because it keeps me on the seat of my toes. Like, I feel like this is the first time in a while with Power where you actively have to avoid spoilers on social, because so much shit be happening on the show that you could get caught out there. You know what I'm saying? You could get caught out there and see something. Like, fortunately, I wore it. I watched it early enough, you know, where I saw some people talking about avoiding spoilers. And then I was like, oh yeah, let me watch this now.
I made a mistake
before some BS happens. You know what I mean? And I was happy it did. Shout out to everybody. What's up, good brother Mars, B More, Sean Richards, Joke, Miriam. So iconic. Thank you for making it. Boca Jed says, yeah, I'm glad you made it too. And I know that's how I know. People tapping in who haven't tapped in a while and try to catch us or this. You know,
it was lit.
Special episode. Lit. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely a special episode. And yeah, let's get into it. You know what I mean? Let's get into it. Let's start talking about it. Let's break down this episode as it was happening. So in the beginning, right? In the beginning of this episode, we see McLean faded, straight drunk out of his mind, drinking because he knows his brother ain't talking to him. Yeah. Brother ain't talking to him. He let him go. He's going through it. And Saxe finds him on the ledge, and he looks like he's a mess and whatnot. You know what I mean? And he's trying to like talk to him and get him in his right mind. Saxe gets the call from Monet. Yo, they got Diana locked up downtown. You got to get to her. I don't know if she gonna hold it down. She don't know. Monet don't know if she gonna hold it down like that. So she needs to call all hands on deck. Calls him, and then Saxe gets the bright idea to say, "Yeah, you know what? You are a mess right now." I got to side with Saxe. It was spitting facts. You're a mess right now. Let me go down there and represent for you. You know, I'll catch you up to speed. Don't worry about it. I got this. And you know, McLean is like, yo, you know what? He's been working, he's been doing this thing. Yeah, you go down there. All the while not realizing Saxe is working with the feds, working with this big Rico, including implicating Davis in it. And he's going down there to get information out of Diana so that they can pretty much seal the deal on this case with them.
Which is insane to me, because I'm like, at what point do we get legal here? Okay. Do we have any attorneys in the chat? Because I just almost spilled my water all over the place. I would just like to know, like, how is he able to play both sides like that with you? Because technically, like, when you talk to your attorney, what's said is like client attorney privilege, but he's going to be giving that up to the other side. Like, mad confusing. And, you know, while Saxe was spitting facts about how Davis was, like, Davis clearly was like 10 sheets to the wind. Like there was nothing, this guy was not going to be able to give you anything. Okay. But what I did find confusing was how he was going to be able to play both sides and potentially get away with it. And I was just like, bruh, you can't be sauce like this during the work days. Like you got things to do. And of course, we as the outsiders, we know that like this is the guy that is giving all the information. Like, stop, like don't let him go. I was like, please, no, don't. I was like, no. But he has to let him go because he knew he was too drunk. But it was just a lot for me to take in because, like you said, this episode, this whole season is moving at a beautiful pace. But because it's actually moving at the pace that we want, I don't have a time to breathe. I'm like, oh, so he's sending him down to the jail. Oh, here comes Tariq. Ain't no commercials to catch my breath.
No commercials.
Like, damn. And like, oh, he's talking to Jenny, and then here comes, like, it's just too much. But I was happy to see that we got so many storylines going on, but they don't make it so convoluted that you get lost. Like you are understanding what's going on in each storyline, and it all makes sense. But yes, Saxe going down there to represent Diana, I just felt kind of like he's done a lot of dirty things. Saxe has done a lot of things in his life where, you know, over the period of this show, where we've watched him do some real grimy shit. And I was like, bro, how low can you get? You're going to go get this girl at her most vulnerable time, right? Like she's just been picked up. This is the daughter. Monet's not been treating her daughter right at all by any means. Not long enough for you to be sure that Diana's gonna hold you down. But in all honesty, I think if anybody would hold them down, it's Diana at this point. Like she's proven herself over and over again. But yeah, it was just crazy to watch all of that go down.
Yeah, Diana was holding it down. She was like, yo, my family on a bar. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she said, you know, they're like, I know you know the game and blah, blah, blah. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, she held it down. And this is like the beginning of the end for Cooper Saxe. And the step one was when his cover officially gets blown. And Tariq goes and Tariq tells Davis, like, yo, he been working with the feds the entire time. He reveals to McLean how Lauren is still alive. And she's the one who fed him the information. And at that moment, Davis realizes everything that's been happening, all the access he gave Saxe, all the info he gave Saxe, realizes, oh, this dude was playing me. And you know, brother. this is where the hood in McLean comes out, and you realize he's been so clear cut and putting up this facade, but all of that jumped out. The real one jumped out. The hood jumped out. He went in his safe, went to go get his gun, and it's like, and even Tariq is like, Davis, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? Calm down. Like, you can't just go and blow this dude's head off. We gotta have a plan. We have to have a plan. And this is where Tariq has evolved, right? Yeah. Tariq is like an ultimate thinker and strategist, where he would have did some recklessness before because he wants to do hood rat shit with his friends. So that's where he was when he was younger. But now he understands one wrong move can topple this house of cards. And Davis has the unique advantage that Saxe don't know that he know. Saxe is the one in the dark now, so he can use it to his advantage. And he did when he went down there, and they were like having that argument. He sees him talking to Jenny, first of all, so now he has that confirmed. Any type of suspicion is now officially confirmed, right? Knows what it is. Daddy goes in there, and they're talking, and they're having the conversation about whether or not she should reveal information or not. And you see Davis is kind of telling her to hold it down, and Saxe saying, you could trust us. Then he pulls the move where he spills the coffee or tea or whatever on Saxe, and slides Diana the note to put everything on Effie. Put everything on Effie and just don't worry about it. We got a plan. As for your question before, Chrissy, about how legal what they're doing is, right? You see it when they tell him, right? When Saxe eventually talks to Diana, and Diana spills all the information, feeds him the information about about Effie, right? And
Yeah.
then he goes back and he tells Jenny and Blanca where he got the information. Once he was like, yo, he gave it to Diana. That's why Blanca flipped out. Because Blanca's the only one who knows you cannot give these people an inch. You give them an inch and we've already lost. She's dealt with that throughout the entire series. And now she's working with the DEA, literally, right? And she knows. She's like, Saxe. Like, and she must be looking at him like, yo, better. We've lost like this before, and you're doing it again. And at this point, Jenny and Saxe, and it's crazy because you could tell this is like the character arc starting to tie up for him, because at this point, he's going back to that relentless, reckless prosecutor who will do whatever it takes. Because when we met Saxe, he don't care about making the corners nice and sharp. He will cut those corners in order to get what he needs. And when he's talking to Jenny, you know, this is the shady shit that goes on, right? She already is thinking of ways in where they can use the information that Diana gave them to get Effie, but they just have to, it's kind of like entrapment, right? Put a situation in front of them, or put in front of her, where they can say, oh, we just so happened to tail her because of suspicion of XYZ, not to mention that Lauren is alive and they have that info on her in addition to the RICO. So they were trying to find all the loopholes to be using that illegal information to bag Effie and shut down the whole situation. And Blanca wasn't with it until she was with it. And she knows. She's like, okay, this is a Hail Mary. This is whatever. It's shaky, but you know what? I'm a roll with it. I'm a roll with it, right?
Yeah. And I think what made her be like, I'm a roll with it is there was a point in that conversation where they're all talking that I actually saw like Blanca and Saxe have their own moment, and it was just unspoken. You know, when Blanca says to him, are you ready? Because when this all comes to light, your cover is blown. Are you ready for that to happen? And, you know, Blanca and Saxe of old, Saxe probably would have been like, fuck this shit. I'm like, he would have found a way to get out because he didn't want to put his life in jeopardy. But in this moment, he was like, yeah, like I'm ready. And that, I think, gave Blanca the moment, like in that moment, she was like, okay, like, let's go. Like, Saxe is actually in this for the right reasons. He's ready to risk it all, like I've been doing. And so let's do this thing. And so to see Saxe have to say that multiple times, that he was willing to risk his life for this to happen, because that wasn't the only time he said it. He also had to say it again to Jenny. And so it's just real sad. Like, watching this, it's like it's sad, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, watching this episode, because it did get spoiled for me by none other than Cooper Saxe in real life. I was like, no, Shane.
Damn.
Shane, no. He posted some montage, because that's the hard part about the show being released on Fridays now, is that it gives you all weekend, and you know, the actors think, okay, it's been 2 days, I can go ahead and post about it, no big deal. And it's like, but it is a big deal. Like, I found out about it yesterday morning when he posted that thing, and I was just like, bruh.
But damn. You know what's the problem? It airs live on Friday nights now too. It's not just that it releases early, because remember, when it released on Saturday nights, it aired on oh,
that's true, on Sundays.
You know what I mean? So technically it aired, and everybody knows the rules, you know what I mean? And that's why it gets so shaky with that, because I saw him shouting out fans that were tweeting him and whatnot. So yeah, you know how it is. He gets caught out there, and it's nasty. It's nasty. That's how it was. That's how it always was. Like when Power used to drop on Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday at midnight or whatever, until I could watch it, I would stay completely. But I've been clean all for the Jeff. We have been doing this podcast for
almost a decade, it feels like. And I
Mm-hmm.
have never had a spoiler happen until right now. I've never been burned ever.
Oh,
And so,
word! You miss
yeah, I've
you was
never,
strafing them like that. Okay,
never,
well,
because I don't really
I
follow that many. Like, it's legit.
yeah,
Like, my Instagram, I've kept
that's
clean.
true.
Like, I've not really
Mm-hmm.
had, but like my algorithm has been so fucked up lately. Like, I have not seen
Right.
Shane on my timeline in like 3 years, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden, here his little ass come with this picture, and I'm like, he died. I was like,
The
no.
minute you saw it, you should have just kept scrolling. But what I need y'all to do, what I need y'all to do in the comments, put y'all favorite drink emoji of choice, your drink emoji of choice, or at least put some salutes in the chat for Chrissy. Her perfect streak of spoilers are broken. So put some salutes in the chat for her. We got to shout out. We got to shout out her streak being broken right now. I mean, it is what it is. And
That was a
and I
good. It was
will
I had a
shoot
good
you
run.
some bail. I
I had a
will
good
shoot you
run.
some bail and say the algorithm works at the worst possible moments. The worst
Fuck
possible moments for when it comes to this, right?
of
So
all times.
right. So, and sidebar, good brother Mars, I don't got a good Blanca. I gotta listen to her a little bit more to do the impersonation. I'm sorry, brother. I failed this. I have failed this city.
Shane,
Cooper Saxe, are you an
Shane.
idiot?
Yeah, are you?
I don't know.
What are you thinking?
What are
She
you
has.
thinking?
It's
Are
like
you
a.
a fucking idiot?
Yeah, like she stops breathing as she talks or
Yeah.
something. It's real
She be
weird, and she's got an accent. It's
yeah. It's just like it's like she's trying to
I'm only
talk
here.
strong but still got the accent to come out and whatnot. I don't know. But yo, let's talk about the way in which they were able to figure to feed this info
So
to
smart.
the DAs. They needed somebody to go down, at least to be able to be bait, right? And this was Effie. This was part of the plan.
Smart.
And I gotta hand it, like, we've seen Ghost do some like master calculating to be able to get going. I think to be able to reach their end goal. The way that Tariq and them be thinking of these ideas, and Tariq
Smart.
is the ultimate mastermind, right? Thinking of these ideas for what they were gonna do. Diana feeds Saxe the info, knowing, because they know who they're dealing with. This is a dirty universe, so they know the DA is gonna use that info against them. Uses the info, doesn't let Effie know. Does not let Effie know, right? Effie, Tariq goes to Effie and tells her, like, yo, you want back in the business, run these pickups at all cap, no frap every week. Effie goes and does the run, just does as she was told. All of a sudden, she's getting tracked by 5-0. They cuff her up. They tailing her. She goes, she does the pickup. They arrive, they bust her down at the warehouse, cuff her up. They go into the warehouse, they see the white stuff, they open it up, and that shit is sugar. Sugar. So, azúcar. As how people would say. It was
wasn't no
sugar.
cocaine. It wasn't
Nope.
that.
And they had to let Effie go. So they set it up. And once and Tariq was there, of course, watching it all go down. Effie didn't know what the hell was happening, but they had to release her because they got burnt on a bad tip. And Reek lets Monet know that everything is good. Monet is in the house with the Castillos and all of them, and was letting them know at first that they gotta pause their plans because shit is too hot. But once she
Monet
gets the
was
word,
cooking at that point. Monet was cooking. She had talked to them before that because that's what gets them off of the. That's what gets them off of her back.
You're right. She lets them know. She does let them know. She let them know earlier that they had to shut down, but then hit her with the text to let her know that we back up, right? And I love the when Effie comes over Effie comes over and she's like, yo, y'all set me up. And you're like, yo, we had to do it. XYZ, you know, keeping you out was the best way for it to look authentic or whatever. And she was like, you know, it's all good. I would have did the same. And then she leaves. And then Kate leaves with her.
After she says, you coming?
And Tariq, yeah, you come in. And then Kate leaves. And Tariq is like, yo, you knew about this shit? You knew about this shit? And
I don't care
who
fucking who. Monet, relax.
Tariq and Monet are kindred spirits because they have they are the most kindred of spirits on this show because they don't take shit personally. It's really like the best parent relationship we've probably top 3 we've ever seen on the show because Monet is like, all right, we just got to get this shit done. I don't care who's doing it. And Tariq is just shaking his head like this motherfucker. And we get to it because
he was like, oh, well.
Chrissy, take your lap. Keffy's in the building. Take your lap. Cook.
Now let me just say, I wanted Keffy to happen, but not like that. Like Diana is at your mercy, Kane, and you pop up in the room to get information that needed to be relayed back to the family, might I add. And then you gonna sex it up? And right now,
not
in the heat of the moment, like. We got things popping off. We got a Rico. Like, we don't have time for this. Yeah. Like, what is you doing? And here he just having sex. But I was like, all right. It was coming. Like, I felt it was, they were building up. I knew once he paid that tuition, she was going to get a little soft. But I just didn't expect for it to happen in that moment. I was like, bruh, like, we sent you there with a purpose. Like your sister is in jail. She just got arrested at family dinner. Like, you know, so, but, you know, Kane always seems to be in the right places at the right times, I guess you could say. What you said? What you said?
No, I didn't say that I laughed because you're crazy. That's why I laughed.
I'm just saying, but I am happy that they're together. It was about time. I'm happy that Tariq's not bothered. And honestly, I think Tariq's not bothered because like she tried to take out his old piece. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think in his head, he knows she's gonna go down eventually for that shit anyway. But that's still not good for him because at the end of the day, it still all leads back to the empire that they have, right? So it's just a lot of shit. Kane just always seems to be in the right place at the right time. He hears the right things. Everything happens when he's right there in the room. Like it's almost genius. You know, Monet's blowing up his phone. Like, where you at, nigga? Like she talks to her kids so
like they literally from the street.
Yeah, like the fuck. Like what? Hi, son. How was your day? Like where you been, nigga? Like. Okay, mom, I don't know. You know, you notice they don't call her mom. Like, I think Diana is the only one who says mom. The Kane calls her Monet. Like, they don't be calling her mom like that. So it's just all weird. But it was good. I'm glad to see them together. Let's just say that it's about time. We've been waiting for it for a while. And now we've got a new relationship. All right?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, you definitely
it's
do. Keffy's in the building. Some comments from the chat. I think Tariq don't care because he's hoping to get back with Lauren. I think because that was his original girl, and now he's come full circle. I think at this point, Rick just want to graduate and get this trust fund today and be out because this shit is way too stressful. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. It's back in the building. We gonna get to that.
Oh, it's back in the building. Yeah,
couple of things. Keffy. First thing, couple of things with Keffy. One, the fact that Kane went up there to Stansfield to try and find out why his sister got arrested and ended up falling into some coochie is the most street dude thing to ever happen. Where your mom is blowing up your phone to see where you at. He's like, yo, I got caught up. I bet you did. And it's crazy because Monet knows her kids so much that she already knew when he said it. He was just like, yo, I didn't send you up there to do all of that. You know what I mean? Like it's just so funny with that. And even when he knew that she was getting set up, he was trying to give her outs. Like, yo, you really want to do that? You really want to do this? X, Y, Z. And she was like, yo, that's what I got to do. He's like, all right. Like, he tried to, like, steer her. I think for all of the flack that he got, he likes her because she's real.
Yeah.
And she's probably like one of the realest people who he knows he could just be himself and don't gotta be hard and don't gotta be all of that. But she understands where it's coming from. You know what I mean? So I think that's something that's appealing to Kane about Effie, right? Power After Hours, your favorite power podcast. Tap in with us as we review Sacrifice season 3, episode 8 of Ghosts. We talked about that trust fund money, and once again, Tariq. Well, I tell you, man, that is a man with a plan. All right.
Always.
So he finds out. You know, Brayden's already messed up because Brayden finds out about this Ponzi scheme. You got Kiki coming to his crib trying to tell him like, yo, put on your work. Like, you gotta come to work. You're going to start making stuff suspicious. You know what it is. Like, grow up. It's a scheme. Everybody's scamming out here. Everybody's scamming out here. So just grow up type shit. Right. I mean, that's how she tried to play
Yeah.
That's
what I said. I was like, really?
She tried to play it off. You know what I'm saying? So, but she was like, she's like the hammer for Lucas and wants to go out and it's like, yo, you know, we have our little thing, but don't get it twisted. You need to get back to work, right? So, you know, Brayden is like, yo, I gotta tell Tariq. I gotta let him know what's up. So he does. He tells him that the shit is a Ponzi scheme. Your money's involved. Because Tariq realizes, oh, fucking trust fund. He's like, yeah, man, I know. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, the shit's gone. I don't know what to do. Feels bad. And Tariq was like, oh, don't worry, I got this. My man went to RSJ, dropped all the dime. And you know, RSJ was heated because he's like, yo, I was the one. You were the reason why I invested. Like, how the hell you not going to tell me that it's a scam? And now all of a sudden you coming to me like this, like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? And he's like, yo, he tells him earnestly, I just found out too. So I'm going to come tell you what's up. But once again, it's not 100% to put him on. It's so that he could use him to so that they have a common goal. And even RSJ goes to it on some, yo, I call my people at the SEC, XYZ, you know, call my people at the SEC. We'll get this shut down quick. And Tariq is letting him know, bro, you will not get your money back. You won't get your money back that way. We got to figure out another way. And RSJ already knew the vibe that he was on and was like, yo, I don't want to get down that way. You see the struggle. But Tariq is like, yo, you gonna get your hands dirty. You gotta get your hands dirty if you want your money back. So I love the plan that they devised where they set up the meeting with Brayden, Tariq, RSJ. RSJ blows up the whole Ponzi scheme. Lucas think he does something, telling him about him being a drug dealer and all this shit, all of that. And he's like, I don't care about none of that. I want my bread back or I'm shutting this down. And they set up. What?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say they set up the plan where he has to pay back RSJ on a payment plan. He got that man on a payment plan. That on a payment plan has to give Tariq his trust fund back, has to give the Tejadas their money back. Because remember, Monet went up to Lucas on that country club and was like, yeah.
Mr. RSJ, one more.
Yeah. Right. And Monet already pressed out Lucas like, you better give us our money back. I want my money back, and that's it. Like ain't no talk. So now Lucas, and on top of that, you can't fire these kids. Everything's got to go business as usual. So Tariq was able to quickly flip that situation in his favor and probably even curry more favor with RSJ because he kept it real with him throughout the whole time.
But did you catch Lucas say something when he says, I'll call the feds tomorrow? And Lucas said something along the lines of like, you can try that if you want to, but I've got people. He says something about having people there. Did you catch that?
Nah, I didn't. I didn't. Chat, let me know if you caught what she was saying or if Chrissy making shit up.
No, I'm definitely not making it up because I rewound it, my nigga. So don't play with me. But
you rewound it? Hey, you old. Yeah. I rewound my tape. I done watched it 5 times.
I was on DVR. You ass. I didn't watch it live. Hence me being spoiled.
Wow. Once again, I'm being attacked for my ideas.
Listen, I don't chill. Okay. What I am saying, see, he said I got that covered. Yes. Okay. See, I know I'm not bugging. Lucas got somebody somewhere, like where he's not shook, because for somebody who is literally getting shaken down by somebody like RSJ, right? He's too comfortable. And I'm telling you, like that comment was made for a reason. He's got somebody either that is sitting pretty in the government or sitting pretty at the SEC that we're going to get introduced to at some point during this series. But I definitely caught that line, and I was like, I don't know that this plan is actually going to go as cleanly as it went. Something tells me Lucas has, because think about it, how they've been operating this for a while. There's no way that somebody hasn't thought something. So it's when he made that comment, I was like, I bet. But yeah, I do love the way. What got me was when Reek comes in the room and he's like, "Yo, B, I've been trying to reach you." He's like, "We got a Rico," and Brayden goes, "YSL Rico, like
what, like YSL?"
Yeah. Like, YSL Rico, like, so this is how we referring to Ricos nowadays. Like,
yeah, he's like that. It's crazy because that's his understanding of what. He's like, "What you mean? Like what they got YSL? Y'all trying to YSL us? Oh hell nah. And shout out to the chat. Chat is saying that they believe he's talking about Tate, because he gave Tate that donation. So saying that he has somebody on the inside, politician wise and whatnot, saying that the feds will find out. He says he has that covered, maybe alluding to Tate. So that's something that's really like interesting.
You're not comfortable with Tate. You gotta be. Yeah, okay, we'll see how that plays out. I just knew I caught that comment and it sounded suspect to moi. I feel like Lucas just too comfortable. Like, I don't like that guy, man. Like, he just rubs me the wrong way from day one. But Brayden, yeah, once he said the YSL Rico thing, I was like, Brayden, you gotta chill. He always has one line per episode that just makes me go, man, that guy. Like, whoever writes his lines, they are A1 in my book because it works every single time. But I knew that Brayden was not going to be able to keep that secret for long. Like, he tells Reek everything. And I think that's why their friendship is the way that it is. Like, they're brothers. Like, they do, like, and that's what he told Kiki. Like, he was like, no, that's my brother. Like, you don't get it. Like, that we ride for each other. And so I think that's why I think it was last season when Brayden was so hurt by Tariq not sharing everything with him, because he doesn't operate that way. And it's good that now he has somebody on his side to talk to him about it, because like, he can't afford to lose his trust fund. Monet, all her money is in there. RSJ's money is in there. Like, they literally brought millions into that damn firm, and it's a whole Ponzi ass scheme. So that's crazy to me that they've been able to go for this long, and that Brayden's dad doesn't know about it. Like, how, sir? Do you not look at the money books at all? Or are they just forging them for you too? Like, you don't know what's coming in? Who's paying your paychecks? Like, we gonna have a talk about that? But whatever payment plan they got him on, I don't want to be on it.
He said that because they're scheming from other people, it's like, well, you better use some of that money to pay me back, because he made that significant payment, So
how should you be allowed to live lavish? Like, for real. That's not fair. You live in the life of a millionaire, and meanwhile you owe me money, bruh. Pay up.
well, he gonna have to, or else he'll be out of here. All right, let's send off our boy Saxe. Let's set off our boy Saxe. Power After Hours, your favorite power podcast. You already know the vibes. We're tapping in. Sacrifice Power Book 2 Ghost. Season 3, episode 8. So hold on, let me get this situated. All right. So at this point, everybody who needs to knows Saxe is a mole, because they got burnt. Because they got burnt on the Effie move. Jenny don't want to mess with him anymore and is basically cutting him out. And he's looking at her like, yo, I got a fucking target on my back. You don't understand these people. I got a target on my back now. I exposed myself because he played his Joker. He played his little Joker, not realizing that a big Joker was still out there to cut him, right?
Yeah.
And he went all in at the worst possible time, because before he kind of was playing both sides to see what would work best, and still had an opportunity to get out. But he already knew. He already knew what was going to happen. You know what I mean? Even to the point where when he's walking to his car, he leaves Tariq a message like, yo, I know where Tasha is. I know where Yaz is, right? I know where Tasha is. I know where Yaz is. So if anything happens to me, you'll never see them. So think twice. Because he already knew the vibes. He knew what was going to happen. He knew what was going to happen to him. And he's trying to call to like head that off, right? Head that off. But Davis's bro, you know him, Theo, is already in there with the gun telling him to drive, because earlier McLean tells him about Saxe. Tells him about Saxe, and it's just like, yo, we don't got to do nothing, kind of like, yo, I'm going to handle it. Theo wants to take matters into his own hands, not only because I guess he wants to take care of the situation again for his brother, but because he's been lying this whole time, hasn't been taking the treatments, and has about a month to live.
Yeah, I feel like he knew he was about to die anyway. So, why not take out the one thing that it could potentially ruin everything for your brother at the same time? And it also all happened, where they had to keep reassuring him too that like, your case is not a part of this. Like, you're clean. I got you out cleanly, right? But like the fruit of the poisonous tree, the tree is still poisonous, my guy. Like, all of this is going to get looked at. Like, even if let's say, that Theo wasn't dying per se, like his case probably would still put him back in jail, because it happened under Saxe being corrupt, which is what I'm sure Jenny would sell in order to save her own ass. And I love that Saxe, handed it to her before he left that, that office. She's like, fuck you, Saxe. And he was like, never again. I was like, yeah, you tell that bitch. Because the way she's been treating him, she treated him like literal work. She never treated him like a human being, and those are the moments that I feel bad for Saxe. Like, Saxe never got the opportunity to be treated like a regular person. He has been, working for everybody else but himself, and he's put himself in some shitty situations. He knows what they're capable of. Hell, Tommy had a bag over his head in OG power. He knows, like, they will take you out with no hesitation. So him making that call to Rick, like, yo, like, I'm the only one that knows where they are. You kill me, that's a wrap. That's your last Hail Mary. That's all you have.
Right.
And
which isn't even a real Hail Mary, because other people do know where Tasha and is, but he tried. He tried it.
He tried, And what's sad is that he didn't even get a chance to like do, like, everybody has their last meal, Saxe didn't even have a chance to have no last meal. He didn't even make it to his house, have a good shower, at least something. He didn't get nothing. He got in his car and he had to go straight to his death. But, Saxe has done so much over the years. We have been doing this show for how long, Jeff? When did Power OG 2014 premiere?
He's made it. He almost made it 9 combined seasons,
unreal,
including the original 6 and then three seasons. He was 2 episodes away from making it through 9 seasons of Power.
Unreal.
So his longevity is certified. And think about how he's survived in this show, where he's broken the law, the Power rules for when you know too much, you usually go. And
season.
Ghost saved him, ironically.
Yeah.
Ghost was the one that saved him, right? And Tariq tried to save him, just like his dad, not because he wanted to, because he knew if you kill him and you're Davis's brother and he got you out, it's easy. And then Jenny knows that they paid him off to try to get that RICO case, paid the judge off. Too much could happen. And even Davis trying to beg his brother not to do it. Saxe just trying to talk him out of it. Like everybody, like you thought he probably could until he didn't. Saxe gets popped. Theo gets popped as well. And Theo kills himself, right? Commits suicide or whatnot and kills himself. And it's, I thought it was chilling at the end that McLean is going nut ballistic. He's like beside himself. And Tariq is just looking like, fuck. And like Tariq is like cold about it, where he knows he's in the realization that everything just became all the more
harder,
difficult for him. Shit is about to get real, and Davis just lost his brother that he's been trying to save pretty much their whole life, right? But yeah. So let's let me tap in on one of the super chats. Shout out Jacoby, thank you so much. 9 seasons, 9 lives, hell of a character. Jenny is ag. Yeah.
Jenny is how we felt about Saxe for a very long time too, though. You got to remember that.
And a lot of the fan base felt about Angie.
Yeah. Oh my God. Don't bring her back. Her and her ghost that appeared after she died. I was like, please just die.
That's why we became a novella.
Oh,
that's what it became.
Like, die for once, please. Like,
that's when it was poder, not power. That's when it became poder.
Poder. On this season of poder. Like, God damn, just die. Like, I just wanted her to go. But I feel like, Jenny is what we despise and Saxe. She's actually, like, I literally can't anytime her face is on the screen, the way that she stood outside of Effie, like she just has this I'm better than smug. You look, and it's like
super
you
smug,
yeah, like, and it's just you want to knock that shit off of her face. And I hate that she put Saxe through so much. Yes, Saxe was I always had hope that Saxe would just turn it around. I had hope that he would, but it's like at the same time, these niggas is criminals. Like, Saxe essentially was doing the right thing. Like, Tariq and them, they are murderers. They are drug dealers. He's doing his job. We should be sick with Tariq, not Saxe. We should be happy Saxe is doing his job. But it's like
if we get into,
we love to hate him.
Right. If we get into the morality plays with all these characters, we could be here. Yeah. It could be an interesting conversation. The thing about Saxe's character for me is he went through with this despite knowing what the potential consequences was, because he could not defeat the same thing that Angie couldn't defeat, the same thing that Greg Knox couldn't defeat. Even my man that was Lobos's snitch, right? Like, he couldn't defeat that shit. Like, so many of them, even Tamika to an extent, right? Yeah. Like, trying to play both sides or whatever. Like, all of them, like, she was the smart one. She lost her job and basically worked for Tariq and them and got out. Like, you don't even see her. She's minding her business somewhere. Saxe knew the rules, and I think his thirst, what he kind of lost in the sense that he had to go work for McLean knowing that he had a hand in whatever was going on, right? Yeah. But Saxe had an out, and that desire to defeat his enemies, because he probably felt like, okay, Tommy is dead, because to them, Tommy's dead, Ghost is dead. I could get Tariq in them. Like, I can finally win and vindicate all the losses that I've had throughout this series. I can win. I can finally win. I have people supporting me. We finally got them. We're finally on the inside. I could win and I could be good. But he didn't realize that they're always one step ahead. He put his chips into the middle of the table way too early, and it cost him. But I did really enjoy his character. Loved his character overall. Like, it was fun to root against him. It was fun to root for him when he started working for Tariq and them. And it was watching how complicated he saw the world, and like the inner fights that he went in within himself on what should he do? Should he just cash this easy check, or go after them, or try to break it down? I think he got too ambitious, and that was his downfall.
Yeah, and it's crazy because that was the soliloquy, so to speak, that he gave Jenny, his final words, basically letting her know that your desire to win is going to keep you from ever experiencing anything in life, because you put winning before anything else. And it was almost like he was speaking, he was mad at her, but it was almost like you actually speaking to yourself too. Like, you're riding a very thin line. And I know that I don't know if the writers had that in mind as they were writing that, that exiting paragraph for him, because that essentially, those were his last words, right? If you think about it, like words that not under duress. But yeah, it was crazy to me listening to that and hearing everything he was saying, because I'm like, over the seasons, you've done the exact same thing. It's just that you didn't like when it was somebody doing it to you. And, and so you got to think about how it's felt over the years and how many people he's put through this shit. Blanca, for example, like what he did to Blanca was fucked. So like they've had so much, back and forth. Yeah, but Shane Johnson as Cooper Saxe, amazing. He played that role perfectly. We love to hate him, so to speak. And any character that, to me, if I saw you walking the street, I would say, "Oh, not this nigga." Like, I would be mad. I wouldn't even want to meet you as Shane, because you are forever Cooper Saxe to me. That tells me you did a good job. Like, you did your job. You did what you were supposed to do. And I loved him as Cooper Saxe. It's just sad that he, it was, I almost feel like he was still breathing in the end. Like he took that last breath in a weird way. But yeah, it was just sad all around, but well done.
For sure. But yeah, friend of the show, Shane Johnson. He definitely, Jeff, if you've never seen the, interview that we did with Shane, you could go on YouTube right now and watch that. Check it out. Real dope dude. Definitely, if you in the chat right now, if you're watching this on the replay on YouTube, put up your favorite beverage of choice. If it's whiskey, if it's champagne, if it's a little martini, if it's a little wine, put it up. Toast to my guy Cooper Saxe. Super longevity, one of the longest tenured non-main characters on the show, who became a main character, and unfortunately probably went out the only way he was going to go out.
Yeah.
But at least he stood on his principles. At least he stood on his principles and went out. So I think he's gonna be a character that's salute to him. Definitely gonna be missed. Enjoyed watching him.
He was great, man. And I love our chat. Talking about some R.I.P. Uncle Nancy. I forgot that his own family called him that. Oh,
wow.
Poor Cooper. Like, right. Cooper, he didn't get respect anywhere. Like, now I think that was his driving force, man. Love it. I hate that that's how the episode ended. It was sad to me. I was like, no, don't die. I didn't want him to kill himself, because I don't know what that is going to do to Davis. It's one thing to know that your brother is in jail. It's another thing to see him take his own life for you twice. So I don't know what that's going to do for Davis. Davis is still part of this RICO. So or did that die with Saxe? I don't know, but
they still got enough. But we're gonna
see they got plenty of information. It's just going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. I feel like if there was any way for Cooper to go out, it had to be through death. He wasn't going to just walk away. He never was. So it had to be death, and he got it.
Yeah, exactly. So, definitely shout out to him. There's a couple of things that we'll go through this last super chats and then be out of here. Effie got bagged, not for the RICO, but for the murder of Lauren. Lauren pointed her out, and that was shocking. Kane saw that. So, woo! If the right don't get you, the left one will. Effie thought she was good until she wasn't, and that that was definitely shocking. And that can connect with this super chat that we got from the Wandering Sage. Thank you so much, Wandering Sage. Appreciate you. Do y'all think Effie was wrong with the Lauren situation? I do, because it's all rooted in jealousy, and that's a toxic quality to have. She's truly foul. I don't Sage, I don't agree with that, only because I don't think that she cared, because at that point they wasn't really dealing with each other like that. They wasn't really dealing with each other. Actually, I'll keep it up for a little bit. They wasn't really dealing with each other like that. And on top of it, think about the game.
Yep.
Someone who was wearing a wire is still alive, and you have an opportunity to close that loop. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna let them? You're gonna let them based on their whims, whether or not you gonna they're gonna tell, or you gonna handle the situation. It's the street game, and that's kind of what she told Tariq when he pressed her about it. Like, you didn't have the heart to do it. I did. If it was anybody else, the same way they shut down Jabari, the same way they Monet shut down Carrie, right? The same way all these people who talked got taken care of. Tommy killing homegirl from the first episode of Power, who saw Ghost
Pink Sneakers?
murder. No, remember the first pilot episode?
Yeah,
the homegirl who saw Ghost kill her
her
husband or her boyfriend,
boyfriend,
and then they brought her back in episode 6 because she heard his voice and was like, oh shit. And then they try to like use her, and then Tommy cleaned up that loose end, although Ghost gave her money and was like, yo, get out of here. You're good. I know you're not gonna say nothing. The game is the game is the game.
Tommy
and that's just what it is.
Like, he killed his own girl. Tommy killed Holly. Like, let's be 100 here. Like, you talk, you die. That's just how this show works. I never looked at her. I never looked at Effie as doing it out of jealousy. I mean, honestly, they were more heavy at the time when they were at that other school when she played the checkmate on Tariq than they were at the time with Lauren. Like, I looked at it as a move had to be made for the better good of the squad. Like, the thing about Effie is she is 100% loyal to the business. She will go down with the ship. She's in it. And we've seen her make decisions like that throughout this entire time that she's been working with Tariq. So I feel like she didn't like making that decision. Now, was she wrong for not telling Reek after a while when she wanted to tell him? Yes. But I don't think that she had joy in killing Lauren. There was no jealousy out of it. It was, I have to kill somebody to save my own ass and the asses of everybody that I work with. That's really what it's come down to for her. So just seeing her face though when she saw Lauren alive, like that look is like a look of like if the dead could speak. Like, she literally looked shook. And I was like, damn, you in trouble then. But for Kane to see her alive and Lauren not know that Kane saw her alive, Lauren, you in trouble too. I hate to tell you.
Exactly. Tap in with another super chat. Thank you, HFG. Appreciate you. I think Effie is gonna make it out of jail soon because the storyline needs that Noma photo from Effie's phone. #free Effie. It's gonna be interesting to see how they handle it because that what I'm thinking is they're probably gonna try to get her to give up Tariq or somebody in the organization in order to give her immunity from whatever they were going to charge her with Lauren. And the question is, does she hold it down or does she snitch? And knowing the rules of the game and whatever the game is, and based off the little things of the preview, I think that's probably the way it's gonna go. And shout out to the chat once again, Maria Suarez. That was the name of the of homegirl who saw her.
Maria Suarez.
Yeah, that was the name of homegirl that saw her boyfriend died in the pilot. So definitely that for sure. And what was it? Oh, real quick on the Saxe thing. Low key, the rating at the beginning of the episode spoiled it for me a little bit, because in the rating they tell you no one is like rated MA for what, like nudity, sex, violence, blah blah blah. They put suicide, so I was like,
they did?
Yeah, I just randomly saw it and I was like, I didn't even think they called stuff out, but it's almost like it almost acts as part rating, part trigger warning. So they put that, and I was like, well, who would do that? Like, I kept it in the back of my mind, and then when I saw Davis in the beginning, I was like, okay, maybe he might attempt it, and that's why they put it. But then when I saw the Theo and Saxe, I was like, oh, is it gonna be?
Oh no!
And then it was, but it didn't really take away because I when I'm locked in, I clear out
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
outside noise. But when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's crazy. Because it's like, if you see it and you start thinking, you could
Yeah.
almost figure it out. But yeah, all
Yeah.
good, all good. Either way, fantastic episode. Also, before we get out of here, your boy Drew is gonna have some problems because
My
this
God.
man want to stalk his ex, go on a drunken rant about how he had somebody and didn't know, and now he has nothing because it didn't work out and everything's messed up. But yet you told their family that everything was good, and then it goes viral, and his brothers see it and is like, he said it was good, and he's talking to here about a love that's gone. Two and two together. He ain't telling the truth, so what's up?
Yeah, because
So
why
now
would
Drew
you know
has
he's
opened
gone?
the door.
Why would you know he's gone? Like Drew, if there is, I just, God, sometimes I just want to just whoop his ass. Like you over here crying to Everett. Like, are you kidding me, my guy? First of all, can we talk about Everett's where is Waldo ass boyfriend over here in this striped ass shirt? Like the fuck?
Not
Like
where's
who
Waldo.
is you? Where did you come from?
Not only does he have a new boyfriend, he goes get a white guy and then announces it to the world when he was shook before to like be all the way like out with it. Like, it's crazy.
All I know is that
crazy.
We thought that the Hispanic mommy was chill, but I have a feeling when it comes to her fucking sons, this bitch is gonna wage war. Okay.
Oh no, it's war.
Like,
it's war.
It's war. The way she grabbed her bag and says, "Oh, we need to have a talk with Drew." I said, "Oh no, señorita, no, R.I.P. Like somebody's going to die." Drew, if he makes it out of this season, I'll be shocked. We have lost a person pretty much in every episode this season. Someone has died. So yeah, we got 2 weeks to think about it.
Lorenzo, we lost Saxe. Like it's moving fast, yo. Like it's really crazy, like out here, and I think it is gonna be all out war. I wouldn't be surprised if we have more like that season finale is gonna be bloody as hell, and we're gonna see where they position them because we know they got a season 4. So it's about to be a situation up in them streets. Anything else before we get out of here?
Nah, man, this was a good episode. I'm glad we get 2 weeks off because after that episode, I need a break. Like, it was a lot going on, too much pain. Like, I'm just glad we have a little break. I need it.
For sure. Yeah, so we got a 2-week break. So we back 2 Mondays from now. Actually, let me look at the the 22nd. We'll be back on the 22nd to review episode 9, the penultimate episode, and then I guess
29th will be the 29th.
That's Memorial Day.
7 days. Mm-hmm.
That's Memorial Day, so I don't know. Y'all might have to get that on the 30th. But
I don't know. Depending on how that goes, like
depending
if
on
a main character dies, maybe. But like,
TBD. TBD,
yeah,
we'll figure it out. But TBD, big TBD. Rainy, you already see the vibes. I'm already tapped in. Game 4 is about to be locked and loaded on my screen. So before we do that, Chrissy, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me everywhere at Chrissy B. Davis. Is that my shit? Yeah,
it better be.
I done forgot what my own social handle is. It's at Chrissy B. Davis. What about you, Jeff?
Jeff J says all social media. You see the banner if you on YouTube. If not, come on YouTube and see what we got. This beautiful banner at the end of the show. Follow Power After Hours anywhere where you get podcasts. All social media. Well, really, it's just Twitter, Instagram at Power After Hours. And on YouTube, Power After Hours on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. Shout out to everybody. I saw some new listeners in the building joining us on the chat for the first time. All of the old OG chat gang tapping in with us. Shout out to everybody new that's listening or tapping into the chat for the first time. Really appreciate y'all. Definitely share this. Keep sharing this with your friends and tap in with us because you know this is the best power talk of all time. I say it, whatever.
Right.
It's of all time,
Period.
best power podcast on the planet. And it's because of y'all, because y'all tap in with us every week, and y'all, we have fun talking to y'all. So thank y'all for that. We will talk. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Catch your breath and get ready for these final 2 episodes. So that's it from us. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.